Stop waiting for change to happen around you. You are the change. You're not here by accident. You're living in a time of massive transformation technologically, socially, spiritually. And let me be very clear, the next 10 years will reshape the Islamic world in ways we've never seen before. It's already happening. The question is, will you be ready or will you be left behind? Stop waiting to feel like being faithful. Stop telling yourself, I'll start praying when I feel more spiritual, or I'll reconnect with my religion when I'm in a better place. That's not how this works. That mindset is the trap. It's the same as saying you'll work out when you're already fit, or you'll eat healthy once your body is already strong. It doesn't make sense. Faith isn't something you wait to feel, it's something you do. It's a discipline, a practice, a muscle. And like every other muscle, if you don't use it, it weakens. You don't pray because you feel perfect. You pray because it's part of becoming who you were created to be. You don't turn to God because life is easy. You turn to Him because you know deep down that you can't do this alone. Here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. There will be days you don't want to get out of bed, let alone pray. There will be times when the last thing on your mind is God or purpose or gratitude. You'll feel disconnected, empty, numb. And that's exactly when discipline saves you. Not motivation, not inspiration, not feelings. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. It's what gets you up for Fajr when your body is screaming for more sleep. It's what makes you open the Qur'an even when your mind is restless. It's what makes you choose patience when your ego wants to explode. That's faith in action. Not just belief but behavior. Too many people are waiting for some grand sign to reconnect with their religion. But let me tell you something real. Your life is the sign. Your heartbeat is the sign. Your breath, your pain, your struggle, it's all pointing you back to what matters. And if you're still here, still breathing, still waking up each day, then you've got another chance to align your actions with your purpose. In the next 10 years, everything around you will change. Culture will shift. Technology will evolve. The way people live, connect, and even worship will transform. But what won't change is the truth that faith isn't built on trends. It's built on habit. It's built in silence, in the daily grind, in the small private choices you make when no one is watching. That's what builds spiritual muscle. And if you want to stay grounded in the chaos, if you want to rise while the world is distracted, if you want to actually live the purpose you keep talking about, then you need to stop waiting to feel spiritual and start acting like someone who takes their soul seriously. Start showing up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. One prayer, one verse, one good deed. Stack it, layer it, build momentum. And yes, you'll slip, you'll fall, you'll get distracted. But that's part of the journey. Don't romanticize faith as this constant emotional high. It's not. It's work. But it's the kind of work that transforms you from the inside out. So here's your challenge. Commit to the practice, not the feeling. Stop letting your emotions dictate your connection with God. Anchor yourself in discipline. Trust that even when it feels like nothing's changing, something deep inside is. And one day you'll look back and realize that those small acts of discipline, those quiet choices you made when it was hardest, were the very moments that saved you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. Every single day. That's faith. That's power. And that's how the next 10 years will belong to the ones who don't just believe but act. Look around. Feel the shift. Something is changing, and it's not small. It's not temporary. This isn't a wave, it's a rising tide. The Ummah is waking up. Not slowly. Not quietly. It's happening in real time, and you're part of it whether you realize it or not. This is a global awakening. Muslims everywhere are rediscovering their power, their voice, their purpose, and it's only getting loud. You can feel it in the energy of the youth who are no longer afraid to say, I'm Muslim and I'm proud. You can see it in the women stepping forward in business, education, media, and leadership without compromising their identity. You can hear it in the podcasts, the content, the khutbahs, the documentaries, the social media posts going viral. Not because they entertain, but because they resonate. Because people are hungry for truth, hungry for purpose, hungry to reconnect with something real. This isn't nostalgia, this is momentum. And it's not coming from the top, it's coming from the grassroots, the masjids, the dorm rooms, the coffee shops, The startups. The living rooms where people are having real uncomfortable transformative conversations about who we are and where we're going. This awakening isn't neat. It's not polished. But it's powerful. And it's spreading like wildfire. We're living in a time where old systems are being questioned. Where people are sick of division, of noise, of empty promises. And they're searching for something deeper. Something eternal. Islam offers that. Not just as a belief system, but as a complete way of life. Its structure, its purpose, its discipline. And people are beginning to realize that the answers they've been chasing outside themselves through culture, fame, money, validation, were right here all along. But make no mistake, this awakening is not a trend. It's not a social media movement. It's not a hashtag. It's a spiritual uprising. And like every uprising, it demands participation. You don't get to just watch this from the sidelines. You're either part of the shift, or you'll get left behind. Because when the Ummah rises, it pulls forward those who are awake and leaves behind those who keep hitting snooze. You can already see the frontliners, the ones building halal businesses that rival the biggest brand, the ones creating Islamic apps that are reshaping how we connect with our faith, the ones opening schools, launching initiatives, mentoring youth, speaking up, calling out injustice, and doing it all from a place of grounded, unapologetic faith. These are not just success stories, they're signal, proof that Islam isn't fading, it's resurging, stronger, smarter, sharper. And here's the truth, no one's coming to save us. We're saving each other, one prayer at a time, one idea at a time, one act of courage at a time. The future of Islam isn't about who's preaching the loudest, it's about who's living it the most authentically, who's walking the talk, who's willing to show up even when it's inconvenient, even when it's unpopular. The Ummah doesn't need more followers. It needs leaders. People willing to carry this light with integrity, not perfection. Integrity, that's you. That can be you. If you're willing to stop hiding, if you're willing to stop diluting your identity to fit into spaces you were never meant to shrink for in the first place. You weren't born into this era by accident. You were placed here right in the middle of this awakening for a reason. So stop waiting to feel ready. You are ready. The question is, will you rise with the Ummah or watch it rise without you? Let's get something straight right now. You don't need anyone's approval to step into who you are meant to be. Not your parents, not your friends, not your community, not your boss, not your followers on social media. Stop waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say you're allowed to lead now. That's not how real change happens. That's not how lives are transformed. That's not how the Ummah rises. Waiting for approval is the fastest way to stay. It's the easiest way to delay your purpose until it dies of neglect. Every time you think, who am I to do this? Remind yourself, you are already equipped. You have lived through challenges that were meant to shape you. You've experienced setbacks that built your resilience. You've had thoughts, insights, visions, things that pulled at your soul for a reason. That reason wasn't to impress anyone. It was to move you. You've been trained by your life, your mistakes, your scars, your prayers. You've already been given the green light, you just haven't started driving. And that ends now. Because the future of Islam will not be carried by people who play it safe. It will be carried by people who move before they feel ready, who speak before they know all the answers, who act while others hesitate. You've been taught to be polite, humble, quiet. That's fine, but don't confuse humility with hiding. Don't confuse waiting your turn with giving up your right to act. The world is full of voices louder than truth, louder than integrity, louder than justice. If you have something real to offer, it's your responsibility to bring it forward. Not next year. Not once your resume is better. Not once you feel more confident. Now. Too many people spend their entire lives preparing but never launching. They collect knowledge but never apply it. They seek permission from everyone but themselves. If that's you, let this be the moment that breaks the pattern. Let this be the moment you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Your calling was never supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to stretch you, challenge you, expose your doubts, and then teach you to rise above them. Approval addiction is a prison. Every time you say yes when you mean no. Every time you dim your light, because someone else might not understand. Every time you postpone your idea out of fear of being judged, you reinforce the lie that you are not enough. But here's the truth. You are enough. Right now. exactly as you are, not perfect, not flawless, but ready, capable, necessary. The world doesn't need more people playing roles, it needs people living from the core of their faith, their values, their vision. Islam doesn't spread through passive acceptance, it spreads through bold action, through people who believe deeply and act decisively, through those who wake up and realize, if I don't do it, maybe no one will. You already have something in you the world needs. A message, a project, a reminder, a healing. You don't need a title. You don't need 10,000 followers. You don't need everyone clapping for you. You just need to start, to speak, to build, to serve, and trust that the one who gave you this mission will guide you through it. Stop asking for permission to be great. Step up. Say yes to your own potential, because the world is shifting, the Ummah is rising, and the only question left is, will you rise with it or keep waiting for someone to tell you you're allowed to? Technology is not the enemy. Let's be clear about that. It's not evil, it's not haram, it's not some dark force that's out to destroy your faith. But here's the truth most people miss. Technology will not save you. It's just a tool, and like every tool, it can either build something meaningful or destroy everything you stand for. It all depends on how you use it. We're living in a time where we carry access to the entire world in our pocket. You can watch a lecture from a scholar in one country, debate an idea with a stranger across the globe, learn Qur'an from an app, track your prayers with a single tap, build a business from your bedroom, and influence thousands from your phone screen. That kind of access, that kind of opportunity, it's unprecedented, but it also comes with pressure and power. You can't afford to be passive about technology anymore. The next 10 years will be dominated by those who know how to leverage tech without being controlled by it. If you're mindlessly scrolling, endlessly comparing, wasting hours watching content that dulls your soul and calling it relaxing, you're not relaxing, you're distracting, and distractions are killing potential by the millions every single day. You weren't created to consume, you were created to contribute. And right now, you have more power in your hands than any generation in history. The question is, what are you doing with it? Are you creating something that will outlive you? Are you using these platforms to spread truth, beauty, faith, and clarity? Or are you just blending in, numbing out, and calling it normal? Don't misunderstand. You don't need to go viral to make an impact. You don't need to be a tech genius to play a role. But you do need to stop being a passive user and become an intentional creator. Start learning, start putting your values into the digital world with purpose. If you have a message, share it. If you have a skill, teach it. If you see a gap in your community, fill it. You'd be amazed how one consistent voice, one meaningful idea, one useful tool can ripple out and change lives. Tech can't give you faith, but it can amplify your faith to the world. It can connect you with people who remind you who you are. It can turn your personal growth into collective progress. It can spread the light, but it will only do that if you lead it, if you tell it what to serve. Too many people are being led by algorithms instead of values. They open their phone with purpose, and 5 minutes later, they're gone, lost in gossip, comparison, outrage, or distraction. That's not just a time management issue, it's a soul management issue. You need to take back control, set boundaries, choose your inputs wisely. Your attention is your currency. Spend it like it matters, because it does. The future is digital, but our foundation must stay spiritual. If you want to thrive in this next decade, you need both: grounded faith, elevated tools, ancient principles, modern platforms. You don't have to choose between being connected and being committed to Islam. You can be both. In fact, you must be both. That's the edge. That's the evolution. So here's your call. Don't fear technology. Master it. Don't run from innovation. Redirect it. Let your devices serve your soul, not drain it. Because the next 10 years will belong to the Muslims, who know how to live online without losing their identity. The ones who use every tool available to uplift, educate, empower, and lead with purpose. And that can be you. If you decide, let go of the lie that you've missed your chance, that it's too late, that someone else already did it, that you're behind, that your past disqualifies you, that because you made mistakes, wasted time, or drifted away, you no longer get to show up fully. That's nonsense. It's fear talk, and fear lies. You are not too late. You are right on time. Every part of your journey, yes, even the messy parts, even the dark seasons, even the years you think you wasted, has prepared you for what's coming next. Nothing was random. Nothing was without purpose. You weren't supposed to peak earlier. You weren't meant to start back then. You're meant to begin now, with more clarity, with more urgency, with more conviction. This is your time. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured. You just need to trust that what's inside of you is still valuable, still needed, still waiting to be activated. We've been trained to believe success has an age, that if you didn't start by 20, build by 25, succeed by 30, you failed. But Islam doesn't measure your worth by your timeline. Allah doesn't work on your clock. He works in alignment with your readiness. And sometimes you weren't late. You were being prepared, refined, seasoned, humbled, strengthened. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, didn't receive revelation until he was 40, not 4, not 14. And yet look at the legacy. Look at the impact. So who told you that you're done just because you're older now? Who convinced you that your window closed? That's not truth. That's culture. And culture isn't always correct. You're still here, still breathing. That means you still have purpose. If your heart is beating, your mission is still active. You have time to rebuild your faith. You have time to launch that idea. You have time to write that book, start that business, learn that skill, raise righteous kids, become who you know you were meant to be. But it starts the moment you stop believing you're behind. Comparison is stealing your fire. You see someone else online doing what you dream of, and instead of getting inspired, you get discouraged. You think they're already doing it better. What's the point? But here's the thing. Nobody can do what you do the way you do it. You have a voice, a style, a backstory, a perspective that no one else can copy, and someone out there is waiting for what only you can deliver. Your delay isn't your denial, it's your development. That time you spent long, it gave you wisdom. That heartbreak, it made you compassionate. That detour, it gave you depth. All of it matters. All of it can be used. But only if you stop disqualifying yourself from the race you're still allowed to run. Start now. Show up now. Not because it's the perfect time, but because it's your time. Don't wait to be more ready. You get ready by starting. And when you do, you'll find that Allah meets you halfway. Always. That every small step is noticed. That every sincere intention opens that every time you turn back, the path is cleared for your return. So stop doubting your timing. Stop mourning what you didn't do yesterday. Wake up to the reality that your best years can start today. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not disqualified. You are exactly where you need to be to begin again, with more fire, more faith, and more focus than ever before. You are not too late. You're right on time. And the world needs what you're about to bring. There's a leader inside you. Maybe you've forgotten. Maybe life tried to bury it. Maybe people convinced you to play small, to stay silent, to just fit in and follow the crowd. But deep down, you know the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to lead. And leadership isn't about titles or positions. It's not about being the loudest or most popular. It's not about followers or fame. Real leadership is about influence. It's about example. It's about standing for something when it's easier to stay quiet. It's about choosing what's right even when everyone around you is going left. It's about showing up with integrity, consistency, and courage even when it's uncomfortable. Leadership starts with leading yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your discipline, your faith, your time, your energy. Stop waiting for someone to lead you. Stop waiting for someone to push. You know what needs to change. You know the kind of person you're meant to become, so lead yourself there, one decision at a time, one morning at a time, one prayer at a time. This ummah doesn't need more spectators. It needs people who aren't afraid to step up and say, I'll go first. First to speak the truth. First to start the business. First to say no to what's wrong. First to model what it means to live with faith in a world obsessed with chasing everything but God. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. Look at your surroundings. Look at your family, your friends, your community. What if you decided to be the one who breaks the cycle, the one who heals instead of hides, the one who shows what a strong, balanced, focused Muslim can really look like in the 20s? That's leadership. That's legacy. You were not created to chase trends. You were not built to copy the world. You were placed in this time, in this generation, with your specific story, because you have a role to play, a unique role, something only you can bring to the table. Don't bury it. Don't silence it. Lead with it. The world is loud right now, confusing, chaotic. But leadership brings clarity. Faith brings direction. And your example might be the only Dawah someone ever sees. How you walk, how you speak, how you live. It all matters. So rise, speak up, build boldly, walk with intention, be the leader you wish you had growing up, because someone else is watching you now. And your choice to lead could be the very spark that gives someone else the courage to rise too. You were never meant to follow the world. You were born to lead it. By example, by purpose, and by unwavering faith. The next 10 years will shape Islam's global presence, influence, and future. And you, yes, you are a part of that story. So wake up, take your place. The world is watching. Be ready.